I'm so fortunate, in fact, today, friends, and I'm extremely happy, thrilled, and feel honored that today in my presence, I have my 3 teachers with me, Dr. P.T. Patel, Dr. Jaiswal, and Dr. J.J. Patel. Give it up for them, come on, give it up for them. આમાંથી કેટલા જણાને એકચ્યુઅલી હોમિયોપેથી ગમતું હતું ને એટલા માટે હોમિયોપેથીમાં એડમિશન લીધું? તમારી સંખ્યા તો ઘણી સારી છે. મને તો મેડિસિન જ નહોતું કરવું, મને એન્જિનિયરિંગ કરવું હતું. અમદાવાદની એલડી એન્જિનિયરિંગ કોલેજમાં એડમિશન લેવાનું હતું. ત્યાં પડી હતી હડતાલ, એટલે જે લિસ્ટ આવવાનું હતું ને અમારું મેરિટ લિસ્ટ, એ 3 મહિના પછી આવવાનું હતું. મારા મમ્મી સ્કૂલના પ્રિન્સિપલને ખૂબ જ સ્ટ્રિક્ટ, એટલે મને કે 3 મહિના કંઈ ઘરે ન બેસાય, કોઈ પણ એક કોલેજ જોઈન કરી દેવી પડશે. એટલે મેં સાવલીમાં તાત પડતું આમ જ લીધું. એમાં એક સાયકલ લઈ આવી 400 રૂપિયા ખર્ચીને, અને ત્યાર પછી મેં શરૂ કર્યું જવાનું કોલેજમાં. પહેલા દિવસે અમારા પીટી પટેલ સરનું લેક્ચર ચાલતું હતું. ઓગસ્ટનો મહિનો હતો. જ્યારે હું અંદર એન્ટર થઈ ત્યારે બોર્ડ પર લખેલું આર્નિકા મોન્ટાના, અને સર ભણાવતા હતા સોર લેમ્બ્રુસ સ્પિલિંગ ઓલ ઓવર ધ બોડી, અને એની નીચે એક પછી એક બધા સર સિમ્ટમ્સ લખતા ગયા. કોને ખબર, મને તો એમ કે આર્નિકા નામની કોઈ ડિઝીઝ હશે, કારણ કે મટીરિયાનું ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન લેક્ચર તમે સાંભળ્યું નહોતું, એ તમે મિસ કરી દીધું હતું. પણ પછીથી શું થયું કે અમારા ડિસેક્શન્સ શરૂ થયા. ડૉક્ટર અલ્પારા સર અને ડૉક્ટર જે પટેલ સર એનેટોમી શીખવાડવા લાગ્યા. મને મટીરિયા મેડિકા એટલું ગમતું નહોતું. વેસા સર ઓર્ગેનોન તો સમજ જ નહોતી પડતી. સોરી સર, પણ નહોતી સમજ પડતી. ઓકે, નહોતી સમજ પડતી. સમજ શું પડતું હતું? એનેટોમી સમજ પડતું હતું. અને એટલો પ્રેમ હતો એનેટોમી પર કે જ્યારે એડમિશન એન્જિનિયરિંગ કોલેજમાં મળ્યું ત્યારે મેં કીધું નથી જવું, મને તો એનેટોમી બહુ ગમે છે. And it is anatomy actually, sir, that kept me back. And that's the reason why I decided to, no, I wanted to study whatever I was doing, and I continued to do homeopathy. આપણા જ્યારે કોવિડ આવ્યું ત્યારે આપણી જિંદગીમાં બહુ જ ડિફિકલ્ટ સમય ગયો. સેમિનારો બધા બંધ થઈ ગયા અને બધા વેબિનારો જ ચાલુ થઈ ગયા, એક પછી એક વેબિનાર. મને આ સેમિનાર આપવો બહુ જ સહેલો છે, પણ મને વેબિનાર આપવા માટે બહુ જ અઘરું પડતું. ઓકે, પહેલી તો વાત મને એમ થાય કે હું જ પોતે ના જાઉં વધેવા બોલતા વચ્ચે. ઓકે, અને ક્યારે જાગું કે કંઈક વાસણ ખખડવાનો અવાજ આવે કે કોઈ બચ્ચું રડવા લાગે તો ત્યારે આપણે ઉઠતા. આજે મને બહુ જ આનંદ છે કે આટલા બધા છોકરાઓને આટલા સરસ મેડલ મળ્યા. તમને એક સરસ વાત કહું, સર અહીંયા જ છે. હું પણ દર વર્ષે કાઉન્સિલમાં ફર્સ્ટ આવેલી, ફ્રોમ માય ફર્સ્ટ ટુ ધ ફાઇનલ યર. બટ યુ નો ફ્રેન્ડ્સ, મને એમ થયું કે હું પાસ તો થઈ, હવે મારે બોર્ડ પર તો ગોલ્ડ મેડલ લખાશે નહીં, કારણ કે ગોલ્ડ મેડલ તો મળ્યું નથી. સાચી વાત. ઓકે, ગોલ્ડ મેડલ તો મળ્યું નથી, હવે શું આગળ? એટલે આઈ વેન્ટ ટુ ડૉક્ટર ભાસ્કર ભટ્ટ ટુ અમદાવાદ, અને આઈ ટોલ્ડ હિમ, સર આટલા વર્ષની મારી મહેનત છે, મને કાંઈક તો આપો. એટલે સરે મને એક સર્ટિફિકેટ આપ્યું છે, સર હજી મારી પાસે છે. અને એ સર્ટિફિકેટમાં લખેલું છે કે હા, આ બેન ફર્સ્ટ આવેલા છે, ને બધું તે પ્રમાણે મને લખીને આપ્યું. આજે કાંઈ વધ્યો ઘટ્યો મેડલ હોય તો હજી બી હું અહીંયા છું, આપો યાર. Though we didn't have the honor of receiving the medal, I definitely had the honor of giving one today. Friends, હોમિયોપેથીમાં આપણે આવ્યા ને ત્યારે એક ચીજ આપણને જોવાની બહુ ઝંખના હોય કે હોમિયોપેથી ખરેખર કામ કરે છે. ઓકે, એ સૌથી પહેલાં એ પ્રોબ્લેમ હોય. જો હોમિયોપેથી કામ કરે ને તો જ લોકો આગળ વધીને એને પ્રેક્ટિસ કરવા માંગશે. એટલે આજે મારો એ ધ્યેય છે કે હું તમારી સમક્ષ થોડા કેસ મૂકી શકું અને તે કેસ પરથી હું તમને સમજાવી શકું. પણ તે પહેલાં મને તમને પ્રશ્ન પૂછવા દો. આપના હિસાબે આપણા ડૉક્ટર હેનમેને સૌથી બેસ્ટ સ્ટુડન્ટનો કોને કહ્યું હતું કે આ મારું બેસ્ટ સ્ટુડન્ટ છે? કોણ? બોર્નિંગહાઉસન? કોણ? ડોક્ટર હુ? No, it was his second wife, Melanie Henneman. Melanie Henneman જ્યારે ફક્ત 8 વર્ષના હતા, એને લખેલું છે, ઇટ્સ વેરી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ. There is a book called A Homoeopathic Love Story by Rima Hadley. વાંચો. Okay, and over there she has written કે એ જ્યારે 8 વર્ષના હતા ને ત્યારે શું કરતા, બીજા બધા ટોયસ ખોલી ખોલીને જોઈ કે અંદર શું છે. જ્યારે એ શું કરતા, એ સ્પેરોને ચીરી ચીરીને જોતા કે અંદર શું છે. અનફોર્ચ્યુનેટલી છે ને એમના મમ્મીની સાથે એમનું જામતું નહોતું, એટલે 15 વર્ષની ઉંમરે હેનમેન આપણા મેલેનીના પપ્પાએ વિચાર કર્યો કે આ નહીં ફાવત આવે, સાથે ઘરમાં રહેશે તો, એટલે એમને બીજા એમના પેઇન્ટર ફ્રેન્ડને ઘરે મોકલી આપ્યા ને બાકીની જિંદગી એમને ત્યાં કાઢી અને એમને પેઇન્ટિંગ કરવાનું શરૂ કર્યું. હું ભૂલ ના કરતી હોઉં તો આ જે હેનમેનનું પેઇન્ટિંગ છે ને એ એકચ્યુઅલી એમને કરેલું પેઇન્ટિંગ છે એટ ધ યર ઓફ 38. કે વેરી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ કે 15 વર્ષની ઉંમરે પછીથી જ્યારે એમની તબિયત બગડવા લાગી. જ્યારે તબિયત બગડીને ત્યારે what happened is she starts at that point of time she happened to read the 4th edition of Organon. After getting to the 4th edition of Organon, એને થયું કે આમાં કંઈક તથ્ય છે, આનાથી હું સારી થઈશ. એટલે એમને મળવા મેં ફ્રાન્સથી એ જર્મની આવ્યા ડૉક્ટર હેનમેનને મળવા માટે. પણ ફ્રાન્સથી જર્મની એમ અવાય નહીં, કારણ કે તે વખતનો જમાનો હતો, સ્ત્રી એકલી ટ્રાવેલ ન કરી શકે. એટલે પુરુષના કપડાં પહેરીને હેનમેનને મળવા આવેલા અને પછી બંનેમાં પ્રેમ થયો અને પછી તે ડિસાઇડેડ કે હવે આપણે લગ્ન કરવા છે. જ્યારે બહુ ચર્ચિત થઈ ગયું કે 35-year-old લેડી ઇઝ ગોઈંગ ટુ ગેટ મેરીડ વિથ એન 80-year-old મેન. ઓકે, બહુ ચર્ચિત થઈ ગયું. એટલે એને ડિસાઇડ કર્યું કે બે ચીજ છે, એક તો મારે લગ્ન કરવા કે ન કરવા, કારણ કે લગ્ન કરવાનો વાંધો નથી, પણ હું જલ્દી વિધવા થઈ જઈશ અને હું જો જલ્દી વિધવા થઈ જઈશ તો બાકીની ઉંમર હું કેવી રીતે કાઢીશ, એટલે મારે લગ્ન કરવા કે ન કરવા. અને બીજું એમને શું વિચાર આવ્યો કે હું જો એમને પરણીશ એટલે એમની બધી ધન સંપત્તિ મારા નામે થઈ જશે, એટલે લોકોને થશે કે આ ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિસ્ટ છે, આવી ગયા લેવા માટે. એટલે એને પહેલાં હેનમેનને કીધું તમારી જેટલી સંપત્તિ છે ને એ બધી સંપત્તિ ડિવાઈડ કરી નાખો તમારા છોકરાઓમાં. તમારી પાસે એક પૈસો નહીં રાખતા, કારણ કે મારા પૈસા તમારા પૈસા રહેશે, પણ તમારા પૈસા મારા પૈસા નહીં રહેશે. અને એમ કરતાં એ લોકો બંને લગ્ન કર્યા. લગ્ન કરી એન્ડ ધેન દે પ્રોસીડેડ ટુ ફ્રાન્સ. It is very interesting to see. I will show you a love letter written by Dr. Henneman to Melanie. Okay? It says, thoughts and love offering to my dear wife, my protecting angel. Where is there among the many thousands whose name Mari is celebrated today? Only one who could equal you as regards even a single of your innumerable virtues and qualities. May you live long, healthy and happy in the arms of your ever-admiring Samuel Henneman. To my incomparable wife, Mary. Okay? So you can see how deeply they were in love, and this is written in the year August 15th, 1835. It is very interesting what Melanie has written about Henneman on Henneman's death. Let us now read that. She says, 2 days before leaving me, he said to me, I have chosen you among all my disciples, and I leave you my scientific heritage, which is of such importance to humanity. Continue to work as we have done for such a long time. Carry on my mission. You know homeopathy, and you know how to cure as well as I do. I replied, but I am a woman. My body has gone tired. My hair has become white under the strain of this difficult work. I have well earned a little rest. See what Henneman says. Henneman says, rest, said Henneman, and raised himself up in bed. Have I ever rested? Forward, ever forward against the wind. Struggle against strain, always cure and everywhere. And by constant curing, you will compel justice to be done to you. Call faithful disciples to your side. Teach them all that I could not tell them, what you alone know now. Hand on my tradition, and when our hour comes on this earth to leave this earth has arrived, come and join me where I shall await you. Agar vacho. Your body will be put in the same coffin as mine, not besides mine, but inside. And they will write on our tomb, as love united us in life, so does the tomb. Ashes to ashes and bones to bones. I promised all he wanted, and then he added, God will recompense you. And in 5 minutes before he departed, he said to me with full tenderness, you will be mine in eternity. And these were his last words. Do you know that after Dr. Hahnemann died, with police permission, she got the body embalmed. And she kept the body next to her on the same bed for 11 days. She did not tell the world because she could not bear the loss herself. She was extremely, extremely in love, and after his death, she faced lots of hardships. We can have a whole lecture on that. We will just stick to this, but this is the same portrait, and I think that is the same portrait as I see here. So what a coincidence that you exactly have the same portrait here as Milani as my slide did. Friends, Allen's keynote. Machi che? શું વાંચ્યું છે? હું વાંચું છું, હવે સાંભળો. Adapted to persons of indecisive, slow and phlegmatic temperament. Okay? હવે આપણે next remedy લઈએ. Next remedy lachesis છે. Persons of a melancholic temperament, dark eyes, women of a choleric temperament. કોલેજમાં મેં બી આ વાંચ્યું હતું. મેં કોલેજમાં હું અચૂક આ મારો પહેલું ચીજ ઉપર લખતી, કારણ કે પીટી પટેલ સાહેબને આ લખે ને તો માર્ક વધારે આપતા. બરાબર સાહેબ? અને સિનિયર્સ અમને હંમેશા કહેતા કે આ લખશો ને, છે કે નહીં મારા સાવલીવાળા? બરાબર છે કે નહીં? You remember? Okay, we used to get more marks. So that's the reason why we used to always write these lines. Little did I realize at that time that I would get into a research on this particular subject and thereafter specify it more. Now friends, ક્યારથી આવ્યો ટેમ્પરમેન્ટ? ટેમ્પરમેન્ટ તો બહુ વર્ષોથી છે. જ્યારે હિપોક્રેટસ હતા, he used to call it blood, yellow bile, black bile and phlegm. In 149 AD, Galen started calling it as sanguine, choleric, melancholic and phlegmatic, followed by Hahnemann, Nair, Clark, Furry, complete repertory, Robin Murphy and David Little. What then is temperament actually? Temperament is the characteristic combination of bodily, mental and moral qualities which together constitute the character and disposition of an individual and predispose him to act and behave in a particular manner. સાદી ભાષામાં વાત કરું તો એક ટેમ્પરમેન્ટ હોય ને એક માણસની પર્સનાલિટી હોય. Temperament and personality are never the same. What is the difference? Friends, personality is what you are in the boardroom and temperament is what you are in your bathroom. Okay, that is the clear stark difference. Okay, if you have 5 statues of Hahnemann put here across, one made of gold, બીજું silver, બીજું plaster of Paris નું બનાવવામાં આવે, ત્રીજું copper નું બનાવવામાં આવે, આ બધા ધાતુઓનો એક સાથે જો બનાવીને આપણે જુદા જુદા મૂકીએ, બધા જ ડોક્ટર હેનમેન છે, પણ બધા સરખા છે નહીં. Why? The raw material used inside is different. Raw material is your temperament. It is not essential that the mother's temperament will be the child's temperament. Each individual is very different and will portray differently. I have gone into an exhaustive study of temperaments. To quote to you the aphorism under which we have temperaments mentioned, sir, with your permission, thus aconite will settle or never effect either a permanent or a rapid permanent cure in a patient of quiet, calm, equable disposition. Just as little will Natswamika be serviceable when the disposition is mild and phlegmatic. Pulsatilla, where it is happy, gay and obstinate, or ignitia, where it is imperturbable and disposed neither to be frightened nor to be vexed. At various seminars, I have taken seminars on temperaments and I will not repeat the same, but in brief to tell you, okay, what are the features of a melancholic, what are the features of a sanguine, what are the features of a choleric, phlegmatic and nervous. Mind you, કોઈ પણ રેમેડી એક જ ટેમ્પરામેન્ટ હોય એવું જરૂરી નથી. You can have various shades in it. Okay, and it is very important for you to be able to pick the right combination and what is high and what is low. when I did this whole research, what I have done with the research is roughly lasted me about 10 years. I would read from all the materia medicas and pick up phlegmatic symptoms, sanguine symptoms, choleric symptoms. Then I went to complete repertory, and under every rubric with a sub-rubric, I got a special program designed where I could give, say for example, fastidious है तो कौन-कौन fastidious हो सके, melancholic fastidious हो सके, choleric fastidious हो सके, nervous कदाच ओछो fastidious हो सके, no fastidious मानस phlegmatic છે કારણ કે એને ક્યારે મોડું ન થાય. Okay, it's a very slow moving personality. They can just go on. So in this way, with each of these symptoms gathered from the materia medica, I correlated it with the repertory, and that's how I made the whole program, whereby I have now been able to give remedies. Okay, this remedy is sanguine 3 marks, choleric 2 marks, phlegmatic 2 marks. And if you have a patient who has that sort of a gradation, it becomes very easy for you to find the remedy. So with this now, I straight take you to a case. This is a case of diabetic foot solved through the temperament ensemble. So let me take you to, so this is a lady who initially developed gangrene because of uncontrolled diabetes on one toe. Following that, she developed again further on the rest of her toes. And finally, this whole part had to be operated on. So this is 4th May 2013. This is what the wound looked like when she was discharged from the hospital. I'll give you her whole history. Initially, okay, you can have a look at the patient. Thoda awaaz karna bhai. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. No, I'm not able to get the voice.
डॉक्टर है ना, डॉक्टर होम्योपैथी डॉक्टर है ना, उनको चाहिए वीडियो देखने का तेरा. हाँ, वो बोल रही हैं अभी मम्मी को नहीं लेके आते हैं तो दिखाओ तो मम्मी कैसी हैं. आप ही वापस वाइट हाउस में मम्मा बनाओ, अपने आप बनाओ. अच्छा, बाकी मैं कर छोड़ूंगी. आप देखूं
निकाल ले.
अच्छा, अभी 1 सेकेंड. ये जो है 1 मिनट. निकल गया. वो इधर डालो, वो बंद करो पहले, वहाँ से नीचे से बंद करो. एक देखो मम्मा का पैर.
Okay, to save on time, I will skip to the next one. In a very quick way, you can note how she is, the way she talks, the patient, for you to see just a little glimpse of the patient. Now, it so happened that she told me that my mother has got this problem. The doctor says that we are not happy with what is happening right now, and we'll have to go for a below knee amputation because she's not doing too well. Sugars are also remaining uncontrolled. She's not doing well. So can you do something? In most of the cases, I think we lack, confidence in our own selves. So I said, okay, I'll try, I'll do my best. Let us see what happens. Okay? And that's the way we decided to proceed with the case. I told her, I'll send the assistant home. Let the assistant take the case. At least I will have an idea from the homeopathy. She's saying, no, my mother doesn't talk much. So I think I'd rather come myself with my father and I'll give you the history. So she came with her father, and this is what she says. She says, a female patient age 66, and she refused the assistant to come in. So therefore she gave, and this is verbatim what she had to say. She says, my mother is a known case of diabetes mellitus since the past 20 years. Though she was under anti-diabetic medications including insulin, her blood sugar levels were not under control as she was very irregular in taking medicine. In fact, when I was away, my father discontinued insulin doses since February this year. My mother was feeling low and lonely and she was not eating well. So he assumed, okay, what is the use of insulin? So her father stopped the insulin. And additionally, the patient continued to eat sugar and sweets secretly. Hence, the sugar shot up. Due to these high fluctuations in her blood sugar levels, she could not recover from a wound on the left, or she could not recover from the wound on the left foot. The wound ulcerated and worsened, leading to gangrene. Doctors had to amputate her left great toe, but the gangrene continued to spread. Hence, she had to get all her toes of the left foot amputated. The surgeon said skin grafting would be required in her case, and he advised her to first go in for vac therapy, which is a dressing done for gangrene patients, which they had begun 4 days ago. She was put on insulin. Sugar levels are slightly under control but keep fluctuating. Gangrene continued to spread. Surgeon says further amputation of the foot below the knee. Present treatment that she was on is also here before you. So these were the allopathic medications that she was taking. She was diagnosed also with IHD, with left ventricular dysfunction. Her heart functioning had reduced to 40%. Presently, she has no active complaints. About 2 years ago, she had a severe lung infection, post which the saturation levels have remained low. Presently, no active complaints. Creatinine 2.5, but now under control. Mother also suffers from urinary tract infection and high-grade fever and chills. Presently, she feels extremely weak, cannot sit for long hours. She feels tired, though she is not lying on bed all day long due to her foot. She always disliked walking. I have observed from childhood that she'd never be willing to walk. She's very lazy. She used to stay in a joint family, so she used to get very tired doing all work. I'll describe my mother as a very sensitive person and a soft person who's scared and frightened. She's never stepped out of the house, seen the reality of the world. She's never had any strong sense of responsibility. Even today, she has not registered that her toes have been amputated. She complains if there is pain and asks when will the bandage be removed, but she does not know that her toes have been amputated. She got married at the age of 17 years. She was very fortunate to have a nice husband who was always overprotective. He would never allow her to go out alone. And when he grew up, I started taking her out for walks. She was always overweight, had a large abdomen, and she had an over-loving husband. So shoes પણ પહેરાતા નહોતા, મોટું પેટ હતું એટલે shoes પણ husband પહેરાવી આપતા એમને. As a child, she was always a scared child. She would not go out alone anywhere. When in group, if any child would hit her, she would never hit back. When she was 13 years old, her father expired. She was very attached to her father. After her father's death, my mother was very scared. She was worried what will happen about her mother and younger brother. She then moved to stay on with her maternal uncle, but she always suppressed her feelings. ક્યારે પણ નવા કપડા માટે પૂછે નહીં કારણ કે અફોર્ડ ના થાય. She wanted to work after her father's death, but she was too scared to go out and work. She's always been low in confidence. Also, she had never traveled by trains or gone out alone. She has great fear of dogs. If she spots a dog, she would actually change her path. Very important. My brother, that is the patient's son, passed away in 2001. He was only 31 years old. He had just got married. He had a heart attack. We took him to the hospital. He reacted to some medicines as we were not aware that he was G6PD positive. They tried to treat him, but he got another heart attack and he expired. His death was so sudden that all of us were completely shocked. The whole cremation ceremony was attended by her, but she has not been able to accept his death. She still believes he is alive. Since he is ill, he is in the hospital. She takes his photo and keeps crying. She asks us, "Kabhi वापस आएगा?" During amputation, she kept asking us, "Kahan hai wo?" We don't bring up the topic of his death in her presence. We just let her believe what she wants to. My brother's wife recently got remarried and we had all no objection for the same. After my brother's death, financially, we were going through a very tough time. My father was mentally disturbed and hence physically unable to work. I started working extra hours to arrange finances. My mother did not register the extent of problems we were going through. She was in deep depression. She had stopped interacting with people. She would not talk to people. She was in her own shell. She noticed I was working very hard and she would ask me about it. She never demanded anything from us. At times, she did realize and get anxious about financial instability. She is worried about our future and keeps asking me how I will manage the expenses. Since the time my brother has expired, she's become depressed. She's always been quiet and she's been more silent. She always disliked talking much. If someone is talking, she dislikes it and she'll request them, ki bas mat, bolo mat, aage kuch batao mat. She dislikes being among people and mixing with them. She doesn't like to interact with people. Even when my friends come home, she will not greet them with a hello. She will not be able to communicate with them. Remember, whenever you are taking a case or you are prescribing a remedy, never prescribe a remedy based on one incident. Okay? What happens is, if anybody tells us, okay, I am disappointed in love, એટલે આપણે ચોટી ગયા નાટરંબો પર. Okay? And generally what happens, we somehow or the other બે ચાર પ્રશ્ન પૂછીને નાટરંબો ઠોકીને બનાવી જ દઈએ એને. Okay? Don't do that. Remember that there are many remedies given under a particular rubric, not just one. If you are able to understand how one remedy differs from the other remedy, only then are you able to grasp rubrics and the meaning why that particular remedy is over there. To give you an example, since the last 3 Sundays, every day I am giving a seminar. So the last Sunday I was giving a seminar where my topic was honest presentation of dishonest remedies. Okay, so what I did there is only deceitful remedies is what I talked about. For 4 hours we had only deceitful. Okay, and how to be able to differentiate anacardium from a syphilinum, from a morphinum, from an opium is what we entirely did. So remember, don't get so fixated on rubrics and don't get so fixated on remedies. By now you are already thinking, ignitia. Barabar chhe? Calcarea, okay. Alright, but you already started getting the feel of the patient, right? Now I'm going further, huh? Even when my friends come home, she'll only greet them with a hello. When I was going to get married, my fiancé would come home. She wouldn't be able to communicate with him initially, but later on she became friendly with him. In fact, now she's very attached to him. She always keeps her emotion to herself, doesn't cry easily. She can't express her emotions. Her tolerance is very high. As a mother, very caring, she always wanted to do everything for us, not by the maid. She would even get our bag ready, uniform pressed, boots polished, and everything would be done by her. Very caring for others, very sympathetic to beggars. Even her in-laws would say anything angrily, she would say, it's okay. It's okay. See, when in-laws say something and you accept it, now you must think about it, huh? Okay, because it's the most touchy point. Okay, I have always found that if I take the history from the mother-in-law and then I take from the history from the, when the mother-in-law has come, okay, and when the daughter-in-law comes and gives me the history, I said, okay, so remember the history, where it comes from is very important and who gives you the history is very important. Generally, the daughters will not lie. The daughters will exactly tell you what is what. She will not keep grudges, very forgiving, very soft. When she drinks water, she needs to pass urine for which she needs help. So that the child would not be troubled, she would not drink less amount of water. Appetite good, craving for salty food, sour, tamarind, aversion Karela, thirst moderate, urine presently no complaints, stool constipation. She sweats mainly in the axilla. Sleep sound, she sleeps around 7-8 hours. Sometimes she talks irrelevant matters during sleep. Sleep position on side, on back. Dreams nothing significant. Thermals can't tolerate extreme. Bath, summer bath, lukewarm, winter, hot water. When you are taking the thermals, it's very important which city you live in, huh? Okay, if there is somebody who is staying in Switzerland, your whole thermals will change. Okay, so remember, thermals have to go by the city that you live in, or else ask them which city they are talking about. Family history, diabetes, and cardiac complaints. Okay, this is our list of remedies. The first thing that we will do when we have a patient is to first pick out on this rubric, right? And the first rubric under extremities gangrene, we have 66 remedies over here. Okay, so see, we have arsenic, lachesis, sickle cord is our favorite, right? Most of the times we start with sickle. So the gut feeling is sickle thi start કરી દઈએ, કાર્બો એનિમાલિસ આપીએ, સ્લો છે કાર્બો વેજ આપીએ, ચાઇના આપવું છે, સ્નેકનું ખરાબ દેખાય છે વુન્ડ ક્રોટલસ હોરિડસ આપવું છે. Okay, so this is the way we would think about different remedies. Now let us see. So now I'll tell you how I have worked out the case on my own. Now before I work out the case on my own, let me tell you the different features. What I found was that after years of practice, एक पेशेंट આપણી પાસે આવે ને, એ પેશન્ટને આપણે સમજી તો લઈએ, પણ પ્રોબ્લેમ ક્યાં થાય? એનું કોરસ્પોન્ડિંગ રૂબ્રિક ગોતવામાં. ઓકે, અથવા તો સેમ રૂબ્રિક તમે 10 વાર સેમનું સેમ જ રૂબ્રિક વાપરે રાખો, સેમનું સેમ જ આવે રાખે, એવું થઈ જાય. So therefore what I did is, I tried to say that of all the volume of patients that I have seen, what are the major things that come across? So that way I made a whole Tempera's word section. For example, you are seeing it in main features. You can have a person who is ambitious, analytic, animated, etc., etc., etc. And then what I did is, supposing I am taking the word apprehension. પહેલા તમે એ કર્યું કે ઘણીવાર શું થાય છે